might have seen to look at the just concluded elections in Edo State is the national chairman of the Labour Party in Nigeria, Dan Nwanyanwu. Good to have you join us this morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Nigerians.
Well, anyway, you were in Benin just before the elections. You left on Friday before the elections.
Yeah, very late on Friday.
So what did you see on ground before the big day of that election?
Well, first of all, let me start by congratulating the Comrade Governor, Adams Oshiomhole, on behalf of myself and my party. We congratulate him for the victory he recorded. It goes to show that hard work pays. It goes to show that it is no longer fashionable in Nigeria for governors who have opportunity to perform but fail to do so, then turn around to expect a renewal of mandate. This election was hard won. It was really tough. As to what happened or what I saw, I was in Benin for a few days before the election.
Your party also participated in that particular election?
Yes. Our party, so to say, participated. But 72 hours to the election, there was a synergy among some other parties because it became very clear that all progressives should support candidates. That was not made public. But some of the parties who were involved in that synergy got through their own mechanism and system to the members, and that was why you didn't record any appreciable votes for some of those parties. Adams Oshiomhole was unbeatable in that election. He had performed creditably well. He had changed what used to be Edo and Benin to a modern city. And the people of Edo spoke very loud and clear that they didn't want to go back to the inglorious past, whereby there was no development. It was just motion, no movement.
But on that day, sorry to butt in,
yes.
Myself and Mark, we were on live and we were talking with our correspondents across the state.
Yes.
And there was a particular region, the senatorial district, Edo Central, which we had dubbed the battleground, knowing full well that the Senate seat there belongs to the PDP. So everyone had thought that it was going to be a big fight against the ACN. But the results showed otherwise at the end of the day.
No. If you listen to media and propaganda by some parties and some party stalwarts, it gives you a very wrong impression of what is on ground. What was on ground before the election was that Adams Oshiomhole was popular in all the senatorial zones. And you can liken it to what happens even in Ondo State, where if you are reading a particular newspaper, you would think that some individuals or some parties are strong. In Edo State, in that election, Edo people made up their mind that, look, this man has touched our lives. This man has done something different from what we had 10 years ago, that we must return him. Those of us who are politicians who were on ground knew it. Even the opposition party knew it. But you see, in politics, you have to attempt to, show presence and show participation. But the truth of the matter was that it was clear to even the unborn child that Adams was unbeatable in that election.
One of the statements that you used, or the phrases that you used when you started speaking, was that the election was hard won and that it was tough. It was a tough
Yes,
battle.
it was hard won.
I mean, if something is so glaringly clear, why would this still be difficult to win, as it were?
Yes, I must confess to you that the president made his position very clear on one man, one vote. We had a series of interactions with Professor Jega, and he gave assurances to the political parties that everything will be fine. But the report we got, for example, from 10 o'clock in the morning, I locked myself in my situation room. I was getting reports from almost all the wards and local governments. I bombarded INEC with a lot of complaints. For example, in Benin, it could not be explained why materials would get to Uromi at 8, 9 o'clock. But few polling units from INEC office did not have materials up to noon, up to 12 o'clock.
Within Benin there?
Within Benin there. There were places where the voters' register was different from the one they used in the last election. There were places where it took 15 minutes to identify somebody's name. These were some of the problems we countered. But in Essan, in Ironwo, and so many places, these materials got there early enough. It took a distance of up to 1 hour to get there. But within Benin, don't forget, we had about 255 registered voters, 255,000 registered voters in Benin. And that was where Comrade's strength, as per where he believed he would score about 250,000 votes. So when such a thing happens in an election and you're a contestant, you start wondering whether what President Jonathan preached, what Jega said, was actually what was being practicalized. There was a particular constituency, 17 ballot boxes disappeared. There were no return, no documents for the election. But you see, the people of Edo State were vigilant. They finished thumbprinting and stuffing of those ballot boxes, but they were unable to bring it out because those places were surrounded. They were unable to bring it out until after the election. So it was like you had been backed in an exercise in futility. So it calls for Nigerians being vigilant and being committed to the changes that we expect in this country.
You said the places were surrounded by who? The citizens or the soldiers?
By voters. They knew. They monitored when the boxes disappeared. So what did the voters do? They blocked the area. So you can hold the boxes in there.
So
we're not going to fight you.
They couldn't bring them back?
No, they couldn't bring them back. They couldn't bring them back. So it was like, keep the boxes in your house, but you can't come out with those boxes.
But again, this
up to 8 p.m. by that time, returns had been made where legitimate elections took place.
Mr. Nwanyanwu, again, this is because initially, I remember then in our chat with the Jibadimos, we were asking if this will be the Edo example leading up to the next election, which is coming up in Ondo State. We're trying to look at what the electorates have done, as you rightly said, that they protected and they guarded the votes that they put out on that particular day. But the question again is, how many elections will INEC conduct before it gets it right? Because if you're bringing this whole story now about materials not getting to some areas, knowing full well that INEC's headquarters is situated there in Benin City, but further than Benin City, as far as Edo Central, the materials were there already, and where the very next door you can't get the materials. How much of preparations did we get from INEC on that?
Well,
day?
INEC would have to be perfecting its systems as you go on with many elections. But don't forget, as INEC continues to perfect its system, the Nigerian politician, who is not popular, has only one objective: to rig election, to manipulate the process, to win through the back door. So unless the masses are vigilant, unless they stand on the INEC officials and then ensure that such manipulations don't occur, because the Nigerian politician would always want to win even where he's not popular. And how does he do that? Is by trying to short-circuit the system, to find a way to maybe snatch boxes, stuff, compromise officials, and all that. All those things happened in the last election. But the only situation that saved it was that, one, the governor did not take chances. He didn't believe anybody was telling him the truth. Apart from the president, who believed in one man, one vote, who deployed soldiers to keep peace and to ensure that such things that happened in the previous election did not take place. It's like when...
But initially people kicked against...
They were talking from a position of ignorance. I want to tell you, in our interaction with Jega, Labour Party was fully in support of deployment of soldiers. And I want to congratulate the Nigerian military hierarchy for not interfering in any manner in that election. Labour Party was the only party that spoke in favor of that in that meeting. I don't think Adams Oshomole was opposed to it. He never opposed it. And let me tell you, and when the National Assembly members in the House of Representatives raised the issue, I said, these people, they are not on ground. They have lost touch My members in the National Assembly called me. What is our position? I say support the deployment of soldiers, because Labour Party will also ask for not less than 5,000 soldiers in Ondo. It is only those...
You want an increase?
In fact, there should be an increase to avoid certain people, foreigners, trooping into the place to cause trouble. That was what the army did in the last election.
Just allow us coming.